secondhand toy dealer here, and yesterday I was a vendor at a toy show. Yesterday's toy show was the second toy show that I've ever been a vendor at, and today I am going to kind of go over the numbers. I kept track of my sales and the number of items that I took, and then I'm going to go over some of my hopes and dreams for yesterday and what reality ended up being. If this is your first time to my channel, I am a toy collector that has taken a small spare bedroom, 11 foot by 11 foot, in my home and turned it into a toy store looking toy display. I hung pegboard on the walls. I have a toy store sign, a glass display case, a working cash register, and a gumball machine. You can see that my toy collection is pretty much filled to capacity, and it is my intention to not store anything. When I purchase something, I want to put it out on display, and when I purchase something new, because I'm pretty much at capacity, I have to take something off of the pegboard to make room for the newer, more exciting item, and the old item I put on the sell pile. In years past, I've had pretty good success at selling things on Facebook Marketplace. But around the year 2000, something changed for me in my area. I don't know if it was the way that Facebook promoted my Facebook Marketplace listings or what, but my sales have tanked. People aren't seeing my listings. People aren't reaching out to me. I mean, I am selling significantly less now than I did 4 years ago. But that's kind of how I came up with the name for my YouTube channel, The Secondhand Toy Dealer. I had set up so many public meets through Facebook Marketplace that I had a buddy of mine kind of comment, "Man, it's like you're a dealer, only for toys. You're like a toy dealer." And so I kind of really thought that was a fun way of looking at it, and that's the name I chose for this YouTube channel. But with the way that Facebook Marketplace had changed, and with the expense of shipping and the complications of selling on eBay, whether the seller says that it didn't arrive the way they wanted it to, they want a discount, they want a refund, and it seems like eBay really kind of favors the buyer over the seller when it comes to resolving conflicts, I just wanted to do face-to-face transactions. My preference would be on Facebook Marketplace because I don't have to pay for any listings, and I have complete control over when I can meet people and where. As that slowed down for me, I tried selling at a flea market, but it seems like my experience at the flea market was people are looking for a good deal. In their mind, they're thinking, yeah, that might have been a $25 item, and I see that it is new and packaged still, but I want it for $5, maybe $4. And I don't really try and sell much of anything for a profit. If I buy a $25 action figure and I no longer have room for it, I'm happy to just sell it for $25, even if it has gone up in price. I don't generally look to flip anything for a profit. I'm just looking to get my investment out of that collectible that I no longer have room for. Now, maybe an exception to that idea is like if I buy like a $60 Nerf gun on clearance for $20, and now I want to sell that $60 Nerf gun that I had purchased on clearance for $20. I might mark that Nerf gun at $30 or $40. It's still below the original retail cost, but maybe some of that markup would be enough to cover some of my expenses renting tables at a flea market or renting tables at a toy show. And I'm selling it for less than the original retail value, and it's something that if you were hunting for something like this that they clearanced last year and it hasn't been on store shelves in a couple of years, if you were going to purchase it online, you'd probably pay significantly more than retail, so you'd be getting a deal buying it from me lower than the original retail cost. So anyway, let's go over some of the numbers that I have written down from yesterday's toy show. Yesterday's toy show, I took 259 individually priced items. If I were to get my asking price on all of those 259 items, I would have gotten $2,481.50. The total of my actual investment for those items was $2,026.50. So I had a wiggle room margin of about $455. A lot of the things that I have in my collection are things that I purchased on clearance. I buy lots of Nerf guns that are 50, 75, 80, sometimes even 90% off. So I have that capacity to still price something under the original retail value and make a little extra money. So I had about $455 worth of wiggle room in my pricing to sell things at the toy show yesterday. Of the 259 individually priced items, I sold 67 items. Of those 67 items, 22 of those items were priced at $2 and below. If I would have included that statistic for $5 and below, that actually would have been a much higher number. I had to come down in my pricing about $46 from my marked price. And because I price things the way I price them, I price things where I want to be. Like if I bought a $20 action figure, I'm really trying to get $20 out of it, so I put $20 on the price tag. I would say that the majority of my buyers yesterday just gave me my asking price. I think that's because they recognized that I wasn't really out of line in the way that I did price. A lot of the vendors that I spoke to yesterday said, no, you need to mark your prices up because some people want to get you to come down. So if you got a $20 action figure, you need to ask $30 for it. So when they offer you $25, they feel like they got a deal and you made some money. It's just not, I would rather avoid the dance, cut to the chase and say, what you see on the price tag, that is my best price. That's what I want to sell it for. I'm not losing money at that. Maybe I'll be losing a little money from the expense of my table and fuel and time and all that. But getting my investment in that action figure back, that's basically where I've cut to the chase and marked it right where I want to get it. And for the most part, I feel like my prices are low enough that they're pretty competitive with other vendors around me. Let's see here. So my total sales for yesterday was $470. So of that $470, I had to take $160 for my tables out of that $470. The tables were 3 foot by 8 foot tables at $40 a piece. 4 tables, that's $160. If I would have accounted for my fuel, it was about a 50-minute drive there and a 50-minute drive back. So I drove there on Friday to set up and back home. And then I drove there on Saturday to run the toy show and back home. So I had probably about 3.5 hours in driving and the fuel expenses associated with that. I spent probably 3 or 4 hours pricing stuff. I spent another 3 or 4 hours setting the show up. The show started at 6:30 a.m. And, well, the show didn't. They encouraged us as vendors to get there at 6:30 to either finish setting up or just be there if other vendors wanted to shop at your booth before the early bird sales started, which I did make some sales Friday night and Saturday morning before the early bird shoppers got there. The early bird shoppers got there at 7:30. The early bird shoppers had to pay $10 to get in at the early bird time, and then at 9 o'clock it was a $5 admission to get into the toy show. The toy show lasted until 3 o'clock, so if you were to take all of my hours and then pay me my regular hourly rate that I make at my normal day job, then I probably lost money, especially if you consider that I had basically priced everything at what I had in my inventory. So I mean, like, I didn't buy a $25 action figure for $15, and every time I sold an action figure I made $10, and that $10 sale offset the cost of my labor, the cost of my fuel, the cost of me being at the toy show. This was not a profitable endeavor. And truthfully, that's not exactly what I was aiming for. I was just aiming for reducing some of my unneeded inventory, the stuff that I no longer have room for in my toy collection, and get some of the money back out of that invested collectible. But there's a part of me that kind of wonders, would I financially have been better off just taking everything, throwing it in a dumpster, and going and putting in 2 extra shifts at time and a half pay? Financially, I probably would have been further ahead to do that. Just throw it all away and go to work and put in 2 extra shifts at time and a half. But it's not just about selling some of the unneeded collectibles that I don't have room for now. It's also some of the fun experience of being at a toy show. It seemed like a lot of the vendors around me were cut from the same cloth that I was cut from. Just guys that are just like excited about sharing with you their experience on their collection, what they like to do, how they like to collect it, where they bought their stuff, what kind of deals they found, that kind of stuff. So it's fun having that camaraderie of being in that environment. Just hundreds and thousands of people all in one place that are all pretty well interested in the things that you're interested in. So that was a lot of fun. And I did see some kids that got really excited about finding some of the things that I had at my booth. There was even one little girl that, I mean, she was looking at Spider-Man comic books. And I mean, like, I had some like $20 and $30 comic books that I thought, you know, I don't think her parents are going to buy her a $30 Spider-Man comic book. And I did have it was like a Nerf style basketball hoop and rim and backboard. And I think I bought it on clearance at Walmart for $1. I had it marked at $1. I couldn't believe that nobody was buying this little Nerf basketball set. And she said, Spider-Man comic books, Spider-Man action figures, a Spider-Man basketball. And her parents were like, no, we're not buying anything, just keep going. And I asked the mom, I said, hey, can she have this? I mean, I would just give it to her. And that little girl was so over the moon excited about being given something at a toy show. So that was a lot of fun, being able to see the excitement on the shopper's face when they get to your booth, interacting with those people, telling them about your collection. I had so many guys yesterday stop and pull their phones out and say, look, I mean, I'm a G.I. Joe classified collector. Let me show you my collection. And they're just scrolling through just dozens and dozens of pictures of their collection of G.I. Joe classified figures. So it was a lot of fun being there. So I think that being a vendor at a toy show, it's all about what you're expecting. And I think that that's kind of what my purpose for this video is, to kind of give you an idea of what reality could be. I was hoping that of the 259 items that I had priced to sell, that I would sell at least half of them, maybe 3/4 of them. I would have loved to have sold everything. But only selling 67 items, I mean, we're not even halfway there. I sold maybe 20 to 25% of the stuff that I took with me. And I even had to come down on my prices on that, and then I had to pay to be there on top of it. So I really wanted to get rid of stuff, not really make a lot of money. So if your goal is to make a lot of money, by my experience, I'm not sure this is the way to do it. But if you're wanting to reduce some of your inventory and have a good time, maybe this isn't the worst way to spend an afternoon. And honestly, this is not something that I'm sharing with you as a wealth of information from experience. I've only been to 2 toy shows and 1 flea market, but both toy shows were within the last 6 months, and the flea market was in the tail end of 2021. So I haven't been doing this a lot, and I haven't been doing it for very long, but this was kind of like my experience. So if you're looking to get into it, this could be what your experience is going to be. I don't know if it is the economy, if people just don't have a lot of disposable income. I kind of figured that the last toy show that I did in October, the vendors that I talked to, they were saying this is not what a typical toy show looks like. There was not a lot of people here, and the people that were here just were not buying. And so that's why I kind of explained away my unmet expectations from the last toy show, and I kind of figured, okay, we're in April. We're pretty far removed from the holidays, so people should have those expenses pretty much under control. The weather's starting to turn, so people are going to be excited about getting out and doing something like this, and it's tax return season. People might have a little extra disposable income, and that didn't really translate to my experience being better than last time. If you want to compare the last time, in October, I had 236 items that I had taken to that toy show, opposed to the 259 items that I took to this toy show. Last October, I sold 61 items, and yesterday I sold 67 items. That meant that last October, I brought 175 items back with me from the toy show that I didn't sell, and yesterday I brought 192 individually priced items that did not sell at the toy show. I brought those back home with me. The total invested value, or excuse me, not the total invested value, but the total of the prices that I had on the items in October was $2,100. Yesterday it was $2,481. And what I sold, the total sales last October was $437. This time, yesterday, it was $470.50. So it wasn't a spectacular moneymaker. And that was kind of my experience. So hopefully that gives you kind of an idea of what being a vendor at a toy show could look like for you if you wanted to try it out. So that kind of wraps up the video. I kind of rambled a little bit there, but hopefully you got something good out of it. Thanks for checking out my video. Hopefully we will catch you in the next one.
That was awesome. Yes, that's awesome.
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Are you gonna be a dork your whole life? Hope not.
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly. I offer a complete and utter retraction. The imputation was totally without basis in fact and was in no way fair comment and was motivated purely by malice. And I deeply regret any distress that my comments may have caused you or your family. And I hereby undertake not to repeat any such slander at any time in the future.